Hello guys, Karen Miller here. Today I wanted to do cinnamon toast, which was a special request by one of my very loyal supporters and subscribers. But before I do this cinnamon toast, I wanted again to thank all of my subscribers. Thank you for your support and well wishes. And it's July 4th weekend. It's a long weekend and many of you are going to the beach and spending time with your family. So I wish you good luck and safety, and thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. So let's do this cinnamon toast requested by one of my subscribers, supporters. All right. So guys, I wanted to show you the ingredients for the cinnamon toast crunch. I know I said cinnamon toast, but it's cinnamon toast crunch. This subscriber said that they remembered having it as a child and they really loved it and they wanted me to make it. And you know, I really take pride in what I'm doing and I want to make sure that I do it right and I do it different and I'm a bit creative. So what I decided to do was to use spelt flakes. This is what the spelt flakes look like, and this is the kamut flakes. It's a little bit yellowish, you know, yellowish, creamish in color. So I just wanted to show you here. I have it in the plate. You see, this is the kamut flakes here, and this is the spelt flakes. I'm going to use some melted vegan butter, some date sugar, which I'm going to mix with some cinnamon. Where is my cinnamon? I don't know. I'm going to find it. I'm not going to put this in the dough for the cinnamon toast crunch. I'm going to mix the date sugar with some cinnamon powder and then sprinkle it over it before I put it into the oven. And I have my spelt flour here that I got from the farmer's market. This is New York State spelt flour. It's always good to buy things from the region where you live. I have some Himalayan salt here, and I have some vanilla, and I have some Brazil nut milk and some dark agave syrup. All right, so and some perrier, because I'm not going to use baking soda in this because I don't want much of a rise. I don't need much leavening. So I'm just going to use the perrier. So then, you know, let's start doing this. I'm going to process the flakes. So I'm going to use 1 cup of each. 1 cup kamut, 1 cup spelt flakes. And we're going to go from there. I just want to do this quickly. So guys, here is the processed kamut flakes and spelt flakes. I measured 1 cup each. And of course you're going to end up with less when you process it. So I measured this, and this is exactly from the 2 cups each. It's 1.5 cups. So depending on what you want to do in terms of, you know, your portions, you would have to figure this out. I'm doing 2 cups. So what I'm doing is I'm taking 1 cup of the 2/3 cup of the spelt flour. This is a spelt flour, and if you notice, it looks a lot like the processed flakes. So this is 2/3. So now I have 2 cups of the mixed spelt flour, the kamut flakes, and the spelt flakes. All right, so now I'm going to add my salt. I'm going to do like a pinch of salt to taste. I'm going to mix this in. I'm going to do this with my hand. Gonna mix this in thoroughly, and now I'm going to add my wet ingredients. So I have 1/2 cup of the walnut milk, 1/4 cup of agave syrup, And my melted butter is also a 1/4 cup. So I'm going to mix this in thoroughly and then get back to you. Alright, so now I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of Perrier with my vanilla. A teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm going to add a little bit more flour to this. Alright, I'm going to add about a 1/2 cup more flour to this to get it to the consistency that I want. Alright, so the recipe is going to be in the description. I did not test this. Usually I would test these things before I do it, but this subscriber had requested this a while now. I don't know, over 3 weeks ago, and I've been meaning to do it. And since I'm going to be busy, this is summer, busy with my children running around, I'm not going to have time to do. So let me do this and get it over with. Alright? So I'm going to let this rest and then roll it out about 1/8 of an inch thick, because we're doing cinnamon toast crunch, right? And then we'll come back, guys. So I'm going to measure out my date sugar. I'm doing a 1/4 cup of date sugar. And I have 2 teaspoons of cinnamon here, cinnamon powder. And I'm going to mix it in. And the date sugar is very dry and it's just perfect for sprinkling on the cinnamon toast crunch. So that's it. This smells really good. Alright, so my dough has been sitting for 10 minutes already. I'm going to let it sit for another 5 minutes and then roll it out. I'll show you guys how I'm rolling it out. So here we go, guys. I have my board here that I'm going to roll this out on, and some parchment paper. This is parchment, not wax. You cannot put wax in the oven, it's going to melt. I get this from Whole Foods. It's unbleached and totally chlorine free. Alright, this is very good for baking. So I'm going to use my huge rolling pin for this. I'm going to roll this out on my parchment paper. This is about the size here, because this is the size of my pan. I'm going to turn it until I get it very thin, about 1/8 of an inch or even less. Alright, so I'm going to keep rolling this out, and when I'm done, I'm going to come back to you. Guys, here's my cinnamon toast crunch dough. I've been cutting and pasting. I'm trying to get it to almost perfect rectangle, the shape of my pan. And this is, I don't know, 1/16 of an inch, I guess. So now I'm going to lift this up and put it in my pan. And then we're going to do some designs on it. Alright? So now I have my pan here. So now I need this to be cut off, because this has to be exactly the size of the pan. So I'm going to cut off the excess. Cut off the excess. you just have to roll it out as much as possible so you have that perfect rectangle. Oh, maybe I did too much here. So that's it, folks. And now I don't have one of those pizza cutters. I'm just going to use my knife and try my best. So I'm going to eyeball this. This is about center. Gonna come all the way down. And then we do this, eyeball it. The other half. And then we do half of this. So that's how we're gonna get it equal. We do half of this. And then half of this. Eyeballing all the time. And then we can do half of these halves, which would be our perfect little cinnamon toast crunch squares. And then we do half of these halves. So again, this is, you know, homemade cereal. I'm not a cereal person. I'm a Caribbean girl, so we didn't have cereal. And then we do it this way. So I'm going to do half of this. Half of this here, and then we do half of the halves here. It's not perfect sizes, but you know, this is not a factory, this is homemade, and it doesn't have to be perfect. So this is it. I think this is good. And then you could even do smaller. You can do this. You can do it smaller, but I think I'm going to leave it like this. And then you take the fork and you do, you know, you do these things like that. You poke it. You poke it all over. So we're going to poke it all over and then come back. So guys, here I have my little pieces of uncooked cinnamon toast crunch, all poked up. So now I'm going to sprinkle my cinnamon sugar all over it. And we're gonna put it in the oven, 350 degrees, for about 15 minutes. Looking good, smells good. General Mills must be shaking in their boots right now, right? General Mills, the cereal guys, the guys who bring you all of that crap. You can make your own cereal at home. Make your own cereal at home like this. Alright? So I'm gonna put it in and we see how it turns out. I think it's gonna be great. Alright, 350 degrees, 15 minutes. So guys, here is our cinnamon toast crunch, and I just wanted to say something about this. This is my first try at this. I didn't do any experimentation, but I had some leftovers and they were rolled out much thinner. You see, this is actually about 1/8 of an inch, because you put 8 of this together, you get 1 inch. You see, this compared to this is much thicker, this piece here, and it's softer. So it depends on how you want your cinnamon toast crunch. This, to me, is the ideal. This is the ideal, this here. So you have to roll it out this thin, and you would leave it in there for about 15 or 20 minutes. I left it in there for about 20 minutes because my children wanted it much crunchier. You see, this is the leftovers that I had, you see, and it's breaking apart, and you can hear the crunch. You can hear it. So this is what you want, and this is like the perfect square. So I think I prefer the leftover ones that I did. But anyway, what we're going to do with this now, I'm going to now set this up and present it to you. You see, you can hear it. You hear it in the bowl. When I put it in the bowl, this is a bowl I'm going to use. You can hear it. It's really crunchy, right? And the ones on the edges, the other thing you have to also know is that when it cools, as it cools, it gets harder and crunchier. So you have to watch it. So I'm gonna put this aside here. And I'm going to set this up here in my bowl. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some blueberries. I have some blueberries. You see, it does get harder as it sits and cool. It gets harder. It does get harder. And the edges are always much crunchier. So this is it. I'm gonna do this, and then I have some blueberries here. I'm gonna put some blueberries on this. You can put some more cinnamon sugar on this, and then you can sprinkle some agave syrup on this. But what I also wanted to do was some peaches. I don't have strawberries, I have peaches. It's summertime and peaches are everywhere. So what I wanted to do was slice some peaches and put in my bowl like this. I love peaches and nectarines. I just eat this like every day I have this in the summertime. That's all I eat when I'm hungry during the day, during my fast. It's 2:20 in the afternoon, Sunday, July 4th weekend, and I have not had anything to eat. I think I'm gonna have the rest of this peach. So this is it, guys, right? And then you can pour some milk on this, your Brazil nut milk, your walnut milk, and you have a go at it and you have fun. And you could also sprinkle some more agave syrup or whatever syrup you like. All right, so this is it, guys. This is your cinnamon toast crunch. Cinnamon toast crunch. All right, take care. And the person who requested this, I hope I have done a good job with this, and just let me know. All right, take care. Bye bye.